All right, so next up, we're going to look at doing loaded carries. Does anybody do farmer carries, suitcase carries, high-low kind of stuff? These are one of the best core endurance building exercises I've found because you can't cheat it. You literally can't find a way to cheat it without staying vertical. Who wants to do a volunteer on this one? Okay, Nick, come on up. What would be an appreciably challenging weight for you to use that you can still successfully do without killing you? For like dumbbell farmer carries.
Hundreds.
All right, let's go with 50s just for fun, okay? Because we're going to go through a couple of different variations. And grab a 24K kettlebell for him while you're there too. Okay. So what are the rules of the game when it comes to the core to start with? Neutral, brace, breathe. Okay. So this is a great drill to get people to learn how to breathe behind that shield. While they're bracing, they have to be able to lock it down and still be able to move. If you don't breathe while you're bracing and you're doing this exercise, you're not getting very far. You want to be able to get neutral, get locked in, and be able to actually generate some power. You guys figure out what 24 is? Yeah. All right, good. Yeah, just set that down by the side. So to start, a farmer carry is a great exercise because it's bilateral. You have support one side to another. There's no one-sided rotation, but it's a really great bilaterally symmetric movement to be able to get people moving. So grab the weight and just stand up. Good. Now get tall. Good. Ideally, we want them to be in a position where ears over shoulders over hips over feet. And then lock it in. Are you able to lock and breathe? Good. So while he's there, breathing should be a challenge but doable. Now after that, all he has to do is just either stand there for isometric holds, or we can get him to walk around. So if he walks from here to there and back, he's going to be golden. So just go for a little walk down to where the computers are. And I want him to control his movement so his pelvis doesn't shift, shimmy, or do anything funky. So this is like a walking plank. That's essentially all it is controlled walking plank. Head up. Good. Now turn and come back. And if you're making them turn with the weights, now they got this big rotation that they got to worry about and control. Okay, you feeling all right so far? Aren't you glad I only made you grab the 50s? Kind of? Okay. All right, now if we want to move into a unilateral type exercise, let's go with the suitcase carry. So drop one dumbbell. Good. So he's holding a weight on one side of the body, which means it's pulling him this way. To compensate, he's got to lean away from it, otherwise he's going to be falling down. So he's still got to be neutral and lined up. And when he walks, he's going to have a very little bit of a lean going the opposite way so he can maintain balance. What I don't want him to see is this, where he bends his torso sideways or where he has the other arm out to the side to defeat the purpose of having a weight on his side. Hands are down. He can make a fist on that free hand to be able to stabilize. Heads up, chest up, nice and tall, braced, and he can walk again. And make sure he breathes. Breathing is good. Get that pinky on that bell too. All 5 fingers got to be working. Good, now all the way back. So as he's doing this, he's got to think, okay, neutral, brace, breathe, neutral, brace, breathe. And he's got to be able to grip, not pass out, and still be able to maintain posture. We can get him doing back and forth 20 times if I want, with heavy weights. Sled work is great for this too, but we're going to talk about sled work when we get to things like push and pull. Now let's change the position for it a little bit. So what I want you to do is have that 24 at your shoulder. We can use a dumbbell for this too, but I love the way that a kettlebell challenges grip, shoulder, and just plain positioning. So here, what I want you to do is pack your elbow back. Back, 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 back. And then I want your thumb into your collarbone. Good. Bring your head up a little bit. Nothing interesting is going on down on the floor, so you don't need to look there. Turn the weight just a little bit. Hang on a sec, I'll show you. Okay. So sitting into the crook with the elbow back, braced into the shoulder. I don't want it away like that. I want you to use the torso. So rest the weight into your torso. Okay, grip the handle and pull it in. So I want you to take your wrist and go like this. There, that's it. So it sits between the crook of your upper arm, your forearm, and against your torso. Rib stays, or your elbow stays back against your ribs. Brace tight. That's a tough position just to hold, right? So now go for a walk. So just being here, he's got unilateral loading on one shoulder. That's a huge, huge stress for that shoulder just to be able to maintain. You get people with rotator cuff problems, this is great because that arm isn't moving away from the shoulder at all, but everything is working. Do you feel everything working? Yeah, you do. Now I want you to grab a weight in that free hand. And we're going to go high-low carry. Okay. Okay, so elbow down, into the hand. Good. He's got a weight on one side and an off-center weight on the other side. So he's got to balance in a little bit of an asymmetrical stance. Keep the elbow in tight to the body. Now we're having some fun. So core doesn't just have to be symmetrical, bilateral, or anything like that. We can start playing around with it. All the way back. And then I want you to have that 24 go overhead.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
If you want, switch hands. Yeah. Get that one overhead. I'll hand you this one. I'll be a nice trainer. Okay. Tight wrist, knuckles to the ceiling. Don't let your hand get behind your head. There. Lock it. Load it. Go. Big challenge because now we got the arm further away from that center of rotation. Get the elbow straight. Elbow straight. There you go. Good. All the way back. Aha, there you go. Now we got some fun challenges going on. Now if you want to go even harder, bring the dumbbell up to the opposite shoulder. New challenge while the arm is still up overhead. And we want to go even harder, both arms up overhead. Get them walking around. If you want to be incredibly insane, get a bar, hang a kettlebell off either ends on elastics, and let that thing bounce and shake and do all sorts of stuff. You still got to control the core. Okay? Partner up with people, go through some loaded carries. Dumbbells, kettlebells, double low, single low, low high, high high, and low.